Hello and welcome back to Ultima 7, the Black Gate and Forge of Virtue. So we are at the Empath Abbey in U. U is sort of like, it's the forest of U here, or maybe all of it actually, I'm not really sure. And then the town itself of U is like, there's a lot of people around the Abbey, but it's also the buildings that we saw when we came here from Britain. So Bradman and Iolo's house and Ceramed's house and so forth. So the town of U is sort of scattered through the forest region in the northwest corner of the map here. Anyways, and if you'll remember back to the fortune teller, she told us that we needed to speak to the wisps, and that the monks at the Empath Abbey may know how to do so. So that this is where we'll investigate that, as well as we've heard tale of our old friend Nicodemus, and hopefully he can help us out with some spells and whatnot. Anyways, let's see who this is. The friendly-looking monk signals you over to him. He signals us over. He smiles. My name is Craig, my lord. Job? I am a monk here at the Abbey. I am working on an alchemical mixture. What sort of mixture? Well, my lord, we here at the Abbey will soon be taking a vow of silence. However, it will take some time for all of us to become accustomed to the silence. Therefore, I am creating a potion that enables the imbiber to become temporarily silent. The concept is very similar to a potion of invisibility. Invisibility? As a matter of fact, my research has reached an impasse, for I cannot determine the nature of some critical reagents. What I need is a potion of invisibility to analyze. Then I could progress from there. He looks at you hopefully. Wouldst thou be willing to obtain a potion for my studies? It is likely that thou couldst find one easily at the mage Nicodemus's. Sure. He sighs, obviously relieved. Thank thee, my lord. Tell me about the Abbey. Sadly, I am so involved with my studies that I have no time to visit the surrounding area or learn any new faces. Okay. And what about this vow? Well, he looks embarrassed. After reading a book on how we compare to our predecessors, we learned that that most people expect us to take a vow of silence. So, he shrugs, we have chosen to do so, once I can make that potion. I realize that it sounds foolish, but I truly believe it will help us produce more wine. More wine? The monks' wine is renowned throughout all of Britannia. Or so I thought. A puzzled look fills his face. Well, that is no matter. Regardless, I sincerely recommend to thee to try some of our exquisite drink. Predecessors? Surely thou knowest of what I speak. Meditation, silence, aesthetics, ascetics, and so forth. I don't actually know how to pronounce that word. Ascetics? Okay. Bye-bye. He nods farewell to you. See who else is around. Oh, wait. We got the bags. Hey, good start. Let's take that gold. Hey. Alright. We don't need your stinking bread. I'm sure it's very good bread, I'm sorry. Sorry, monks. Ooh, garlic. That is a reagent, right? Right, and we only have 9 of them. Yoink. Alright, forgot about that. Hello. You see an attractive, studious-looking man. Name? My name is Taylor, my lord. Job? I study the local flora, fauna, and geography here at the monastery. Do you know a guy named Julius? So the Julius is Nastasia, I think her name is. The woman that we kissed at the shrine of... I forget if it's the Shrine of Love or the Shrine of Compassion. And she asked us to inquire about her father, who had gone missing under various circumstances that I don't remember. Traveling, maybe, or something like that. And we're getting a prompt for that now. You know a guy named Julius? Julius. I cannot be certain, but 'tis possible he may be someone who now resides in the cemetery. I have heard that name mentioned as someone who was brought to the abbey to be buried, though I know not who brought him, and I do not remember from whom I heard it. I do hope he was not a friend of thine, he says apologetically. Okay, tell me about the monastery. Our order is called the Brotherhood of the Rose. Your order? Yes, my lord. One other monk, Amy, lives here in the abbey. She is a painter and a gardener. Amy? What about Craig? That name does not sound familiar, my lord. Perhaps he is not from this area. We just met him right outside. So, Amy's a gardener? She raises the most lovely flowers that I have ever seen. Thou must see them to believe of their existence. And she's a painter? He smiles. Between us, she is a far better gardener. Tell me about the geography. I use my knowledge of the local landscape to aid in my studies. The better I know the locale, the farther away I can travel from the Brotherhood Abbey and still be sure I will be able to return, unlike a fellow monk of mine. Oh yeah? He became lost some time ago while surveying the area for birds. The golden-cheeked warbler, I do believe it was. I think that's a reference to something that I don't understand, the golden-cheeked warbler. Does ring a bell, though. Sadly, he traveled too far, and we have not heard from him since. I do not wish to suffer the same fate. Alright. Well, you seem like a good guy to ask to learn about the wisps. Tell me about the local fauna. Many different species of animals reside in the forest. I've encountered some fascinating ones in my studies. Yeah, what do you know about the wisps? The wisps? He laughs. I doubt they exist. I realize many people seem to believe in them, but I have never seen any. If thou must know, popular legend maintains that they inhabit the forest area near the Emps. Supposedly, the Emps are able to speak with them. He shrugs. Thou mayest look for them if that is thy wish, but I would not waste precious time myself. We saw a wisp on the way up here. It wasn't even hard. We weren't even looking for them. They exist, and they'll mess you up, too. Anyways, tell me about the Emps. That seems helpful. Ah, the Emps. I have not been able to glean much information about them. They live on the eastern edge of the deep forest, not too terribly far from here. They resemble apes, but only slightly. They are exceedingly shy and will rarely feel comfortable enough to approach a human. The only way I was able to view an Emp closely occurred when I happened to have honey in my pack, which I had just picked up from Bee Cave. Not even the Bee Cave, just Bee Cave. The creature appeared, stared at me for a few minutes, and then asked, I say, for mine honey. I believe they are empathetic, hence the name. Emp is short for empathetic. Quite an interesting species, dost thou not agree? Yeah. Tell me about Bee Cave. Bee Cave is located to the southwest of the abbey. But if thou art planning a trip there, beware the giant bees that live in the caves. Their venom is very poisonous. If thou wishest, I can give thee a smoke bomb that will repel the bees for a short time. Dost thou want it? Yeah. Here it is. Thanks so much. So honey, eh? The honey from the Bee Cave is quite tasty, but rarely can one get it without a fight. The Bee Caves can be a rather dangerous place. I don't remember what this prompt was about, but let's ask about it. There are so many exciting things to investigate. Tree flowers, for example, my lord. I think I could have picked a couple things that are more exciting than that. What of the local flora? There are many beautiful plants in this area. I am working on learning about all of them. Okay. Bye. May thy knowledge increase with thine encounters with nature, my lord. Not surprisingly, the monk has a ton of books. Let's see what you're reading. The Forest of Yew by Taylor. Though once the large, prosperous city of justice, Yew has been swallowed by the deep forest. However, let not it be said that this turn of events was not by the will of the people. As the cities grew throughout the land, many found it difficult to continue peaceful existences as simple farmers and herders. More and more it became necessary to learn trades involving the exchange of goods and services, and there was considerably less instances of self-sufficiency. While most Britannians found this pleasing, there were those who wanted to return to the less mechanical side of life. Did we read this? Yeah, we did read this. Whoops. What about this one? Up is Out by Goodfellow. Herein is discussed the most current theories on gravity and mass. After years of study and research, the author finally put the fruits of his labor down in the pages of this tome, which includes his discussion on falling apples. What Could Be Left But the Ashes by N. Flames. Herein are the many essays covering an in-depth study of the aftermath of a volcanic eruption. The work was extensively researched and is filled with testimonials from many a survivor. The most interesting story is told by Fendora, a young woman from Minok who claims to have experienced a volcanic eruption near every one of the 5 towns in which she has lived. Sounds like a stretch. Brommer's Britannia. We read that. The Silence of Chastity by I. M. Monk. The treatise of the monks of the Brotherhood of the Rose, including how they compare to their stereotypes. One common misconception is that monks still hold on to the outdated notion that silence is golden. While this was perhaps a tenet they supported as late as 0103, no longer do the monks of the renowned Empeth Abbey care to remain speechless. What? That's not what Craig said. There is no doubt that monks love wine. Not only are there more monk stories centering on the creation of wine, but any visit to the abbey will reveal just how much of the entire building is devoted to the formation of the delicious mixture. Landships by Equinestra. Not only does this extensive tome describe the many riding beasts in Britannia, but it also discusses riding styles and techniques. In addition, it addresses the reasons for the popularity of carts, explaining why so few people chose to continue riding horses. The final chapter covers flying carpets and how they will ultimately replace all non-magical means of travel. Did I do the middle one? I did not. Spring planting, autumn harvest. Held within these pages is the explanation of agriculture in detail, including the much misunderstood mulching process. The middle section is an illustrated guide to many gardening implements. Alright. We see another monk over there, but let's see what's upstairs first. Hey, there we go. Why am I so laggy? Not much up here. Ugh. Hello. I bet you're Amy. Whoops, I'll hide behind the door. The monk pulls back her cowl far enough for you to see her face. Name? Thou mayest call me Amy, my lord. Job? As a monk, I'm not sure how to answer that question. I often help to make wine. However, my lord, in my spare time I paint or tend my garden here at the abbey. What about you? Have you heard of Craig? I am afraid I do not know of such a person. Okay, well tell me about the abbey. I have spent little time with others in the area. Thou mayest wish to speak with Taylor, for he knows much more about the people, animals, and sights in this area than I do. Yeah, we spoke to Taylor. He is a fellow monk. He spends his time studying the plants, animals, and geography of Britannia. Well, tell me about your garden. My garden? I've been tending it for years now. I am a firm believer in the value of aesthetics, so I plant only flowers. Sometimes I sell them in bouquets when people want them, but I do that very rarely. Bye? No thank you. Perhaps next time thou mightest be interested. For now, my lord, do no more than promise me that thou wilt take the time to enjoy my garden. That's nice. Aesthetics? It refers to the practice or study of all things beautiful. And paint. Yes, she blushes. I have long admired those who are able to express themselves visually. Sadly, she says, laughing, I am not very good. However, I also collect art. In fact, I have an original sterling hanging in my room. Perhaps thou couldst see it sometime. What? Did you just invite me into your bedroom? Bye. Fare thee well, my lord. May the sweet scent of beauty never pass thee by. Well, now I gotta go check out your bedroom. This painting. Nothing happens. Is she just flirting with you? I've actually never noticed that before. Alright, well, let's see what's in the crates. Probably grapes, yeah.
You had best not do that, Avatar.
Aha! I legitimately didn't know that. That was just a guess. So just one crate there? No, there's two. I don't need the crate. And the bread. Ha ha ha! I just had a hunch. This just takes you over to the other side. What's in here? Whoops. Grapes. All them grapes. Don't need them. Okie doke. Craig. Hello, my lord. No, I don't want to give you a potion. Nothing else new, eh? Okay, bye. He nods farewell to you. Craig, you're sketching me out, man. Whoops, we missed the door. Don't you hate when you miss the door? That old chestnut. Let's go this way. Who dis? Healer. Yoink. Our healer will take those, thank you. No, you can fit it, come on. Why? Whoops. Why is that the case? You can certainly fit it. That's crazy. See? Oh, wow. I forgot that I put all the healing potions in here. Or I thought I did. Oh, good that we've got that many. May as well make the switch now. I think those are orange. Oh, more. Which one was the bandages? Yoink. Is this a bandage? Yeah, looks weird. Okay, nothing to see there. Hello. Oops. Hello. The woman greets you with shining eyes. It's an interesting description. I am Reyna, she says, brushing the hair out of her face. Job? I am a healer. I have chosen to set up shop here near the forest. Why the forest? I wanted to live and work here because the land is very beautiful. I have found many things to do and see. Unfortunately, the forest is so spread out that I have yet to meet many of the others who live in this area. I do know that the abbey is just across the way from mine house, and somewhere nearby is a scholar. She appears thoughtful for a moment. Also, I believe there is a prison just east of the abbey. Yeah, we found that prison already when we got caught stealing in Paws. What? I've never actually seen it, she laughs, but rumor has it that the cells are located right next to the court for quick, easy imprisonment after the trial. Wow, for some reason that sounds creepy. Or not creepy, but it sounds wrong. Scholar? From Amy, I have heard that he is brilliant and also a bit overzealous to instruct those interested in increasing their knowledge. Oh, so you know Amy? She is one of the monks who lives at the abbey. At this time, she is the only other person I have actually met here in the forest. What do you know about the abbey? That is how this area, Empeth Abbey, got its name from the monks who live at the Abbey of the Brotherhood of the Rose. They are said to make delicious wine. One of the monks cares for a beautiful garden in her spare time. In fact, I often buy flowers from her. But, she grins, as for the other monks, all that I've ever seen them do is make wine and wander the countryside. The others? Amy is the only one I've met, but I know there are one or two others who make wine there. Well, is it one or two? That's kind of important. Flowers? Yes, I get them for my mother. Mother? She looks down at her feet and then back up at you. It is obvious that she is fighting the urge to cry. Several months ago, my mother passed away in her hometown. She was born here in the forest and had asked to be buried here near me. Every morning I come out here to visit her and set flowers by her grave. But a lone tear escapes and trickles down her cheek. I am the only member of our family who lives nearby. No one else is able to visit or leave the flowers very often. Her grave looks so bare sometimes. She looks off into the horizon and sighs. It would be nice if there were some way to have more flowers brought to her. She quickly turns and looks at you. I'm terribly sorry for rambling on like that. Please excuse me, my lord. Okay. Bye-bye. Goodbye, my lord. May health always follow thee. So you want us to bring flowers to your mother? Seems like. Shmino, take this mutton. What time is it? 7:22 in the PM. A book, The Way of the Swallow by Foyles. I've read that. We have read that. We're a team here. Another book. Have we read this? I don't think we have. We'll read it. Brommer's Fauna by Brommer. Betwixt the covers of this book can be found details of the most prevalent animals that inhabit the lands of Britannia. Deer are quite prevalent in the forested areas of Britannia. They are shy creatures, generally shunning the presence of man, whom they know hunt them. Atop their heads sits a pair of antlers. The fox is a small animal akin to a dog or a wolf. It is an omnivore and more than willing to make off with a farmer's chicken when it tires of other foods. Foxes are omnivores? I don't know if that's true. I guess, what the hell do I know? Alright. Let's go buy some flowers. Craig, I still don't trust you. Garden by... Yes. I still have anyone to give these flowers to? Yes. Whoops. Oh, I should have read that. You tell her about the passing of Raina's mother. Yes. I had heard of Raina's loss. That is a noble reason. Please take these flowers and give them to her. Bye. Fare thee well, my lord. May the sweet scent of beauty never pass thee by. Still don't trust you, Craig. Whoops. I missed the door again. Here we go. Brought flowers. Her eyes light up as she sees the bouquet of flowers. They are lovely. Thou art too kind, my lord, to bring flowers for my mother. I cannot wait to set them by her grave. Okay, bye. Goodbye, my lord. I thank thee for the bouquet. May health always follow thee. So, I meant to check. I'm not sure if we actually got any experience with that. I assume we did. But the major, I guess, benefit is that should we choose to take her healing services, she will give us 50% off because we were kind. Let's see who else is around. Hello. The man before you stretches and inhales deeply. Name? Please, my lord, call me Perrin. I reside here in Empeth Abbey. Tell me about the Abbey. This is a pleasant location. I like the privacy, which gives me a chance to study when I need to. The Brotherhood is across the road, and I am near a healer. Also, I have begun a study on the effects of dealing with death for undertakers. I am using Thierry as a case study. Thierry? He is the Undertaker who lives just north of the Brotherhood. And what do you know about Reyna, the healer? I've yet to meet her, but why doesn't anybody meet anybody in this place? But I know she loves animals. I have seen her playing with the deer and squirrels that inhabit this region. Brotherhood? That is the Abbey. The monks who reside there are famous for their ability to produce exquisite wine. Nearby is the High Court and a prison. Prison? It is located just behind the court, and, he grins, I am proud to say that it is at least one thing about which I know nothing. You haven't told us very much of anything yet. High Court? The official there is named Sir Jeff. Sir Jeff? From what I hear, he runs his ship very tight. I do not envy the jailer that works with him. It must be extremely difficult to be near such a strict disciplinarian all day long. And wine? Thou shouldst try some. The monks have been making it for more than 300 years. Alright. Bye. Goodbye, Lugan. Best of luck in thy journeys. I didn't give you my name. Oh, you got a lot of books. And not much gold. What you reading? The Right Stuff by Perrin. Oh, you wrote this. Within these pages is found a treatise of on the value of literacy and proper writing skills. The first few chapters briefly discuss the various elements of good literature. The subsequent text analyzes the qualities of the elements to determine why they are integral to the quality literature. To quality literature. The essay ends with a description of the process by which a promising writer can apply what has been learned to construct better prose. What about this one? How death affects those who work around it with regularity. Also by Perrin, I imagine. Well, yeah. Day 1. Subject, Thierry, seems friendly enough and willing to accept my company. Day 2. Subject exhibiting strange sense of humor, very morbid. Day 3. No contact with subject. Day 4. Subject makes continual references to recent conversations with cemetery occupants. Day 5. ... So he's talking to the dead. Did we check in here yet? Nothing. Keep going with the books. The 111-year, 3-month, 7-day war by Perrin. Are these all your books? Within this work of fiction is written the renowned historical treatise that describes an intense and bloody civil war in the land of Britannia. The parable is designed to strike home the advantages of the people of Britannia have by remaining unified under the rule of Lord British. Brommer's Britannia by Bromner. Betwixt this cover... Oh, we did that. It's the map one. Good. Second shelf. Brommer's Fauna. We read that. Brommer's Flora. I don't know if we did, but I don't remember. We'll read this. This large tome describes most of common plants indigenous to Britannia. The Greer plant is especially fascinating, for it spends most of its life huddled with its leaves wrapped in a tight ball. However, every so often the leaves will unfurl, radiating out from the stem. We've actually seen those before in the swamp on the way to Minox/Vesper. The Reaper is unique in that it is both plant and animal. Resembling a large tree, the Reaper is capable of self-animation as well as self-locomotion. Reapers have been known to attack those who cause harm to their home, i.e. the forest, but seldom reveal themselves otherwise. We talked about Reapers. I don't actually think they move in this game. I'm pretty sure they're stationary. Was that this one? Nope. The Dragon Compendium by Perrin. Found almost exclusively in the dungeon Destard, dragons are an ancient race of large reptiles. They possess great intelligence, and a few also use magic, sometimes summoning other creatures to fight with or for them in battle. However, in combat they are quite formidable. Without any aid, for in addition to their sharp claws and the rows of razor-like teeth that fill their maws, they are capable of producing large clouds of fiery death. That, combined with their ability to become invisible, makes them more than a match for any foolish enough to cross one. Shouldst one ever be found that is willing to bargain with thee, I strongly suggest doing so, for very few can survive a battle with one of these terrible lizards, and even fewer can emerge victorious. Oh, so they're found... Okay. Where are we? My Lord Conduct by Elena. Found within this Found within is a description of the proper behavior for courtiers and courted individuals. The book reveals many different techniques for both polite and impolite seduction. Top shelf first. A complete guide to Britannian minerals, precious and semi-precious stones. We've read this because it told us about Blackrock. Hither Comes the Rain by Perrin. Within the pages of this book are descriptions of the various effects of spring weather on plants and animals in Britannia, explaining that Britannia seems to see an increase in the amount of rainfall each year. Thy Message Received by Forlem, translated by Gillian. We met Forlem. I forget which one he was specifically, but he was I believe he was in Vesper. Probably either the mage or the scholar. Probably the scholar. Within this diary is revealed the poor treatment of the gargoyle race since the return of the Codex 2 centuries ago. To have noticed that humans remain uncomfortable with us. They have given us our own islands to populate, but is this gift designed to keep us segregated? To have wondered why so few gargoyles leave Turfin. To have no more doubts, having lived in Vesper. To see the hatred for our race. To feel the disgust. To understand not, for it was humans who destroyed our land, not gargoyles. To seek communication, to seek friendship, to seek trust, to speculate that none are forthcoming, to ask the humans why, to see the terror and loathing, and to know that there will be no answer given, to hope for a future of harmony, but to realize that with segregation there can be none, to hope for education of both races for our children and ourselves, to hope and to live. Oof, that was heavy. Poor Forlem. Poor gargoyles, I should say. White Rain by Perrin. This detailed tome is filled with descriptions of the various effects winter weather has on plants and animals in Britannia. Bottom Shelf. No Time to Dance by B.A. Morler. The wonderful depiction of the busy life of two industrious scholars caught betwixt the demands of a forceful taskmaster and the pressure of time. The Intrinsic Complexities of Investigating a New Species of Flora in the Land of Britannia by Perrin. This scientific journal describes, with examples, the process by which one studies plant life. The book is divided into multiple sections, one for the layman, one for the hobbyist, and one for the learned scholar, and includes a warning about the difficulties of gathering specimens from the poisonous swamps. Last one, The Scent of Valor by Wetterson. Herein can be found the definitive word on chivalry and the duties to a knight's liege. Okay, we made it through all the books, and that is a good time to stop because we've been going for a little bit. So we'll pick up next time exploring the rest of Empeth Abbey and the surrounding area. See you then.